right, hello and welcome to Only Pod Forgives. This is a new movie and TV podcast. I'm your host, Will Keys, and I'm joined by Ryan Suppe and Joey Thyne. Intern Ryan Suppe.
What's up?
Potential intern Joey Thyne. Two of the brightest film, television, music, and all-around pop culture minds that the industry has to offer. What's up, guys?
That's right. Yeah, that's exactly how I would have described myself. You did it perfectly, Will. Thank you.
You're okay too, Will.
All right. No, I was hoping for something better, but that's perfectly fine with me. How's your guys' Sunday going?
Not bad.
Yeah, not bad. Yeah, sitting around all day.
I'm actually winning at fantasy football for once, so that makes me feel good.
We don't talk about sports here, Joe. Sorry.
I'm just saying.
Is that because you're playing me?
No, I'm playing.
Who the fuck are you playing? We can't hear you.
Dan.
Oh, okay. We're off to a.
Go, Joey. I'm rooting for you.
We're off to a rousing start here. I'm not sure if that was a technical difficulty on everybody's end or just mine, but
no, it was me too.
Okay. I was
Joey,
going to say,
internet
we're recording
sucks.
on my end, so it doesn't matter either way. Yeah,
So,
we're not here to talk
Will,
football.
why don't we talk about where we came from?
Yeah, so this is the second coming of this podcast. We've done, 20 previous episodes before under a different title? Yeah. So we had a podcast.
And about 5 got published.
Roughly. Yeah. We had a producer who, can we just say it? He didn't like to do his job. He basically stole money from the University of Nevada, Reno, where we did our podcast originally. Not only
There's
that,
no money involved, as far as I know.
yeah, there was. He got paid.
Oh, that's true. I guess he did.
Taxpayer dollars.
Yes. No, technically you're correct.
Yeah.
So he's basically the Bernie Madoff of our time. I like to think of him like that. But also, if he wants to ever be a guest on this show, we'll welcome him with open arms and allow him a chance to apologize. And, maybe we'll forgive him in the spirit of this show's title.
Yeah,
Only
we've
Pod
never
Forgives.
really confronted him directly. We should do it on the show, live.
Yeah, it should be like an intervention.
I'm down.
Yeah, just, hey, Bailey, take a seat. Take a seat right over there. He's already sitting the whole time.
So
yeah.
Our old show was a pop culture podcast. That name has since been stolen.
Thieved. Yeah. No, we're in the middle of a long and drawn out lawsuit with the public university. They have a lot of powerful, high priced lawyers that are honestly taking money from us. So
That's right.
we're not legally allowed to discuss it at this time. Joey, your girlfriend hosts the new show that was stolen from us, so it's caused kind of a rift in your relationship. So
Yeah.
What do you have to say about that?
I think they're doing a good job. I do.
Is she sitting right next to you with a gun pointed directly at your head right now?
Joey, say how you feel. We'll edit it out. We'll edit it out. Don't worry.
Yeah, we'll edit it out.
Honestly, I haven't listened to it.
I listened to the first episode. There's a disturbing lack of the three of us. I'll say that.
The show is lacking. in that, yeah.
If you will edit this out, I will say that.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. This is my first time ever producing a podcast, so even if I wanted to edit something out, I may not even know how.
God damn it, Will.
So in that respect, I'm actually better than Deke. In that respect and many others.
Yeah, so we used to have a podcast. Now we don't. Why are we starting another one?
Because it was such a success. It was such a cult classic the first time that the people wouldn't shut up about it. It was like the Beatles breaking up. Everybody wanted a piece of us. They just wanted a reunion. People were calling for a reunion. I never heard the end of it, and I said, finally, you know what? We'll give the people what they want, and here it is. So
yeah.
I hope they're happy.
Yeah, so
Yes,
fucking
here we
enjoy it. You're welcome.
All right. Well,
World.
with that out of the way, let's get into the news. Am I doing this? Ryan, you doing this? I think I'm doing this.
Yeah, you're up.
Okay. So Danny Liner is the director of Harold and Kumar and another great movie, Dude, Where's My Car? He's passed away. Joey, you wrote this news item, so I have no idea how old he was. I don't know anything else he's done, but can you tell us anything about Danny Liner and
Wait, let me Google it.
his passing?
Yeah, I'm literally Googling it. I just copy and pasted it because
This is great.
news story.
The news segment
But
is supposed
I
to be at
think-
least a little bit researched, Joey.
He had one fucking job.
I think Harold and Kumar is a good movie. I'll say it. I'm not afraid to say it.
Well, did he
And
do
I'm sad
both?
this man is dead.
Question for you.
Yeah.
Has he done all of the Harold and Kumars before he met the grave? And possibly untimely death, possibly timely. I have no idea how old he was.
Who knows?
Yeah. He could have been like 45. He also could have been 102.
He's like 90.
There's nobody over 50 made either of those movies.
You never know.
Yeah, think again. You know, like I said, if we had done some research, we probably wouldn't have to worry about it. But I think that's the kind of show that we are. We're a little off the cuff.
Didn't one of you guys say, Dude, Where's My Car is your favorite stoner movie when we talked about that one time?
I think that was Ryan, right?
I might have said that. That is a great movie. Yeah.
He was 57.
Oh, okay. So not as funny as before. Actually sad.
How did he pass?
One moment, please.
Off to a great
Lung
start.
cancer. Way to go, Will. Way to laugh at a guy who died of lung cancer.
I'm not laughing at a guy who died of lung cancer. No, actually, you kind of got me there.
You were laughing at the fact that Joey couldn't find it.
Yes.
You're welcome.
Yeah, no, definitely. So, okay, a great loss there. All we can say is we've lost a great auteur who created one of the most successful movies about going to White Castle, which is Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle. I've often said it.
You know what? I'll say it. I'll say it's the best White Castle movie.
Well, it's at least in the top 3. I can't think of 2 others, but I'm sure it'll come to mind eventually. What's the second one, too?
How do you think Harold and Kumar Escape from Guantanamo Bay?
Oh, yeah. I can't remember
that was
the
great.
first one. I remember the second one, though. All I
guys-
remember is they go to that party,
Yeah, the
and
bottomless
it's like a bottomless party. Girl tries to take her top
Yeah.
off. They're like, what the hell are you doing? Put your top back on.
Yeah, that's not this kind of party. That's one of the more memorable scenes from, I think, either of those movies. I think there's a third one, but nobody saw that.
He also directed. He had a long television career. He directed episodes of The Office, The Sopranos, Freaks and Geeks, and Arrested Development.
Oh,
Okay, well, why didn't you lead with that, Joey? Those are
Yeah, you're right.
a few really good shows that he directed. As an airplane flies directly, I think like 5 feet away from my, for some reason, open window. So yeah, like I said, we lost one of the great ones in Danny Liner, who I knew was actually 57 years old and passed away from lung cancer. A terrible loss. But let's move on. Netflix adds 7 million subscribers, beats estimates, and sends their stock soaring. Not 10%, not 11%, also not 13%, 12%. What do you guys think about Netflix stock shooting up?
Yeah, I don't know what their strategy was, but they definitely downplayed that for a while, I think. Made it seem like they weren't adding as many subscribers as they really were, and then they just dropped this bomb, the quarterly results. I don't know what their game is, but it's impressive.
I just don't know what inspired this. Like, I feel like there hasn't been any new bombshell bombshell TV shows or movies that have come from Netflix.
See, that's where you're wrong. There's been a string of like very mediocre romantic comedies on Netflix
true,
that have
right.
done really, really well. There was
To All the Boys I Loved.
To All the Boys I Loved, which I did not see. There's also another one with Jennifer Grey's daughter. I can't remember what her name is, but it was with her and that guy from Everybody Wants Some. Obviously, another thing we've researched really well. But that it got like a 97% on Rotten Tomatoes, and I saw it and I was like, "This is not that good." But here's the thing: a lot of people are going to like it, and clearly they did. So it's working pretty well.
They're living on mediocre TV shows. That's for sure. They always have, actually.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. There's like, how many originals do we have now on Netflix? Like,
thousands.
Got to be no less than 1,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys remember when the first original movie was Beasts of No Nation?
Yeah.
That was like a big deal. And now there's one like every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like they just buy up any like middle budget movie that gets denied by other companies and they just make it in 2 weeks.
They just got so much cash, they'll throw it at anybody. Because something might stick.
Oh,
I think I saw on Twitter Luke Cage just got canceled.
Yeah, I was actually surprised. I feel like a lot of people watch that.
That's the first time I've ever heard of Netflix canceling a show. Like, I'm sure they've done it before, but like a kind of a mainstream show getting canceled, that's the first time I've heard them do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, usually they'll just like air like 10 seasons or 10 episodes a year. And if no one watches, it really like doesn't make a difference because I feel like they're toying with all the other streaming platforms. Like they've just got Amazon Prime and Hulu in the palm of their hand. And if they want, like they can just crush them and they can just buy them up and buy all their subscribers.
Well, I don't know if that's totally true because Hulu's going more towards the live TV route, which Netflix hasn't done that yet. But yeah, like now on Hulu, you can watch live sports. You have to buy a separate package, of course, but I don't think Netflix does any live TV, right?
No, I don't think so.
I think the closest thing they've tried is to do like weekly shows like the Joel McHale show.
Oh, yeah, that was a piece of garbage. Did you guys watch that?
No.
That was terrible. Oh my God.
I'm still trying to figure out what the name of that romantic comedy was that came out this summer that everybody loved. But while I figure that out, I'll just say that I think Amazon Prime is probably the best of the three. Are we all in agreement on that one?
I haven't really used it, honestly.
Yeah, me neither.
You guys more Hulu people?
I don't really watch very much TV, to be honest.
Oh, ooh la la, Suppe.
So you're perfect for this podcast.
Well, now I will. I will start now. For the listeners, I will. Now I have a responsibility to them.
Yes. You have a responsibility not only to yourself, not only to us, the two of us, but the listeners, the thousands upon hundreds of thousands of listeners that are hanging on your every word, Ryan. So
in my defense,
I'll just say it.
Yeah. It's sort of impossible to watch new TV when HBO Go exists. Fair. Because that is a library of the greatest shows ever made that you kind of have to catch up on. So I don't have time to watch new TV. I got HBO shows to watch.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I was going to ask you what you're watching right now, but we've actually got a segment for that at the end.
Yep.
So I'll ask you later. But let's go to the last item of news, and that is that Amy Schumer, I think everybody's favorite comedian, not just female comedian, but our favorite comedian, Amy Schumer, says that she will turn down any Super Bowl advertisement offers in support of Colin Kaepernick. So she's gonna hit the NFL where it hurts, and that's advertising revenue, because everybody knows that without Amy Schumer, the NFL is nothing.
I mean, you guys know all of those iconic Amy Schumer Super Bowl commercials. Well, you know some. Name some off right now.
Yeah. The one where she's talking about her vagina, of course.
That one, yeah. That Doritos one.
Yeah.
Is that the same one?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
The Snickers one where she talks about her vagina.
That's right.
And also the Mountain Dew ad where she talks about her vagina.
No, Mountain Dew can't afford a Super Bowl ad. I guess that's Pepsi.
I'm pretty sure, yeah. You sure fucking can.
I also saw that Rihanna turned down the halftime performance because of Kaepernick.
Yeah.
Which I'm actually kind of pissed about because I don't want to fucking watch Maroon 5 perform.
I'll live with Maroon 5 as long as they play nothing but their first two albums. Which they're not going to. That's not going to happen.
As long as they bring out Amy Schumer.
She won't do it. She said it. She's taking a stand. She won't do it.
As you guys know, I don't watch the Super Bowl. Let's just get that out there. Episode 1. Before we even get to February, I do not watch the Super Bowl.
Good for you.
So I could care less whether Amy Schumer is in any commercials because I won't be watching them. Also, I don't give a shit when self-righteous Amy Schumer does something protesty because she's Amy Schumer. But I am all for people protesting the NFL because this is nonsense.
This is definitely going to go over well with our subscriber base.
Oh, shit, I forgot. Sorry.
No, it's
edit it out. Oh.
I might actually, once I figure out how to edit things out. My question is, wasn't she supposed to move to Canada like 2 years ago anyway? What the fuck is she still doing here?
Yeah, good point. Too many vagina commercials to do.
It's true. She and Lena Dunham were supposed to be in Canada by the time of Trump's inauguration, and frankly, my only guess is that Canada just said no thank you and sent them back.
Yeah, probably. Stopped them at the border.
What has Lena Dunham even done in the past 2 years?
Guess what, pal? A show called Girls. Ever heard of it? I think
it's been over for a while, hasn't it?
More than 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a really good question.
Joey, do you have like an Ethernet cord that you could plug in?
No, am I glitching out?
Yeah, quite a bit.
He's doing okay on my end.
Oh.
So I think it's okay.
Do you have an Ethernet cord?
Yeah, I'll plug it into my phone. How do you do that? Ethernet plug in on my phone?
Shove it up your asshole first.
Oh, is that what you're supposed to do? Okay, yeah.
A 1, a 2, and a 3. Okay.
Any more news?
No, that's it. That's it. Anything to add on Amy Schumer?
I have nothing to add. No.
Okay.
Do you think there'll be a Nike Kaepernick commercial during the Super Bowl?
That is an excellent question.
Probably. I mean, there's already one right now that runs like 65 times a day, depending on what channel you watch.
During NFL games, it does?
No, I've never seen it during an NFL game, but also I mostly watch Red Zone. So, as you know, it's 7 hours commercial free.
That's a great fucking channel, Red Zone.
Scott, yeah, I'll keep the Red Zone channel on all week, even not on Sundays, just so I can listen to the music. Just the soundtrack, and just it reminds me that I've got like 6 more days until Sunday, so it keeps me going. But yeah, that's the news. That's all we got today. First Man.
All right,
we all saw First Man. Shut the fuck up. We saw First Man, directed by Damien Chazelle, starring Ryan Gosling, Corey Stoll, Claire Foy. So, what do you guys think? What are your initial thoughts? Ryan, you want to go first?
You see that, Joey? Like we were going to talk about something, so he looked up who was in it, knew who was starring in the movie, who directed it.
Yeah, you piece of shit.
That's good work.
All right, yeah, I'll go first. Loved Damien Chazelle. Loved his first two. So I was actually pretty pumped for this. Did not blow me away. When I left the theater, I didn't feel very strongly about it. I thought it was kind of boring. I don't know. I don't know exactly how I felt. But since I've watched it, which was about a week ago, actually, I think I like it more every time I think about it.
Okay, so it's grown on you a little bit.
It is growing on me. And I think on a second watch, I'll probably like it more. I think part of the reason I was sort of taken out of it was because I listened to Damien Chazelle's interview with Terry Gross before I saw it, which Terry Gross is the greatest woman of all time. Episode 1, I'll just say that. She's
a radio host on NPR. Hosts a show called Fresh Air.
Yep. Greatest show on the radio. Used to be on point until what's-his-name got Me Too'd. Anyway, Terry Gross talks to Damien Chazelle, and the whole time they're talking about how rattly they made these spaceships, and like how you can really feel that these things are just machines put together with scraps and metal and whatever, because we think of the 1960s space race as being so high tech when actually it really wasn't. And all these people are dying because their spaceships don't work. And the whole movie, I was thinking about that, and I was like, God damn, they pushed way too hard on this. Like, I fucking get it. Like, when the seatbelt doesn't work, I'm like, all right, that's enough. I get it. Shit breaks. So I think that's part of the reason I didn't like it as much as I could have. But overall, I thought it was pretty good.
Okay, so your point being is that you wanted everything to run smoothly, and you think that would have made it a better movie.
No. I just think they pushed a little too hard on it.
Okay, fair. Joey, your thoughts?
I thought it was great. I really enjoyed it. I thought the editing was really good. I know Suppe said he was bored, but I thought that it moved along really well. And I thought all the acting was really good. I thought all the space stuff was really cool, and it seemed, I mean, obviously I've never been to space, but I thought it was, yet. But I thought that it seemed realistic. It wasn't like too, I don't know, too much. Yeah, I thought it was good. I thought Gosling was very good. Who played his wife?
Claire Foy.
I've never seen her before. She was great.
She's been in a Netflix show. Speaking of Netflix, The Crown. She plays the Queen, and she is also in recently Unsane, the movie by Steven Soderbergh, and she's the girl in the what's it called? Like the girl who kicked the hornet's nest. It's the sequel to The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what's going on.
Yeah, I thought she was good. I thought the whole cast was good. I thought all the astronauts were good. My only gripe is that there wasn't enough Kyle Chandler, because I'm a huge Kyle Chandler fan.
Which guy is that?
He was he was kind of like the head guy. He was from Friday Night Lights.
It's Coach Taylor.
Yeah.
It's Coach Taylor.
Yeah, that guy's good.
He's in everything these days.
I don't know, this is just a weird thing, but in Mad Men too, you know how they open beers with the
oh yeah, the can opener. Yeah.
I love that for some reason.
I noticed that too. It was a good little period touch.
Yeah, they really nailed the period piece stuff, which I was expecting. It was very stylish, very good looking.
Chazelle, yeah. This is kind of we should probably back up, and for people who aren't super familiar with this movie or haven't seen trailers or anything or haven't seen the movie at all, this is the story of Neil Armstrong and Apollo 11, and it kind of covers Neil Armstrong starting in the early 1960s all the way up to the moon landing, essentially, and his return to Earth pretty briefly at the end. But it's Damien Chazelle, it's Ryan Gosling, It's about 2 hours and 20 minutes, right?
Was it that
longer.
long?
It was pretty long, yeah.
Ooh,
I don't know if it felt as long, which is probably a good thing.
I guess that's a positive. I
Yeah,
didn't even know it was that long.
no, definitely. But I think Chazelle did a good job towing the line in between kind of an art house movie, which it felt like at times, and then not like just a straight commercial thriller, which it could have easily been. And it wasn't really like Apollo 13 or Gravity or something like that. And it felt more personal. And it felt like I learned something about Neil Armstrong that I didn't know before. Because the only one we hear about out of the three that landed on the moon the first time out of Armstrong, Michael Collins, and then Buzz Aldrin is Aldrin, really. I think he might be the only one still alive. But we kind of learned about Neil Armstrong, that he's this reluctant American hero. And I think Ryan Gosling did a pretty good job of portraying that he was a really reserved guy who kind of took on this mission because it was his duty, rather than he wanted the glory of like either being the first man on the moon or winning the space race for America or anything like that. But I think this movie portrayed that pretty well, which leads me to this question, which is, do you think Ryan Gosling was the right guy for this role, or do you think you could have chosen someone else that might have been better?
No, I thought Gosling was good. I didn't have any complaints about him.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he was a perfect decision because that role needed like such an understated performance and like a totally naturalistic performance. And I mean, a lot of Gosling's acting, he's not even doing anything really, but it's like
Just being handsome.
Yeah,
Handsome as hell.
I think it's one of his best performances.
Yeah, it's not the usual Ryan Gosling performance that we get though, right? Like, it's not like Blue Valentine or Half Nelson or something like that where he's carrying the movie with his charisma and his charm.
Yeah.
But he, like, by all accounts, he plays a pretty good Neil Armstrong, and you believe it too. Like, my grandpa was a rocket scientist from that era, and I feel like all those guys were somewhat similar in terms of their demeanor, and I feel like he captured it so well that I got a really good sense of what Neil Armstrong was like, and what his family was like too. Like, he was a family man who obviously had the obstacle of he's trying to be a dad, and also at the same time he's orbiting in space for weeks at a time in between. And obviously early in the movie he loses his daughter to cancer. I think that's in like the first 20 minutes, so it's not much of a spoiler. But a lot of this movie is about not just the journey to the moon, but his battle against the grief of losing his daughter. And his grief is so strong that he literally goes as humanly far as possible to the moon in order to deal with it. So I thought that was something that you probably wouldn't have gotten if you had any type of director or writer or possibly actor other than Chazelle and Gosling, who obviously worked together earlier in La La Land.
Yeah. I think they really nailed the perspective. The whole movie is Neil Armstrong, and every event that takes place is from his perspective, which is hard to do with an event like this, which was so big and affected so many people. And I mean, like, from being on the ground to the politics happening on the ground.
Yep.
Why are we spending so much money trying to go to space? That's all from Armstrong's perspective. You only see what he would see and how it would affect him. From that to going into space, like the first couple missions, just shooting up in the air basically and trying to find your way back down. It's very intense, and great shots from mostly just inside the cockpit, which is what he would be seeing, not these like big, what's the word I'm looking for?
These like spectacular, like zoomed out CGI shots of like the rocket taking off, and
there's no models used in this movie.
No.
Yeah, going off that, there was a few really cool POV shots, like when he was flying around and he had to eject, and he was on the parachute coming down, and it showed it from his perspective. I thought that was really sweet. And when they were about to take off in Apollo 11, and it showed like the perspective from inside his helmet, I thought that was really cool as he was walking down the hallway. So, yeah, I agree.
There were about 3 other trips where he was like a hair away from a horrific death.
Yeah.
The movie opens up with him just barely avoiding crashing on it in his return to Earth on I think like a one-man trip. I don't even think it definitely wasn't into orbit, but it was like a test trip, and it kind of sets the tone for the rest of the movie. Obviously, like a lot of other astronauts didn't make it, like Neil Armstrong did, and we kind of get a sense of what kind of danger he was in, because all we hear about the moon landing is, the famous quote, one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. But what we didn't know is like how easily this could have gone awry, and how easily we could have lost 3 astronauts in our pursuit of getting to the moon. So I think this movie does a really good job of capturing that, and that's kind of one of the things that's lost to history that's uncovered really well in this movie. But one question for you guys is, how does First Man rank among Damien Chazelle's 2 other movies? So his first one is Whiplash, the movie about Miles Teller, the drummer. And then obviously the second one is La La Land, which came out, like, a year and a half ago?
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
Third
for you? What's your first? And obviously second.
What's my first? La La Land. Come on, bro. Give me a break.
I was pretty stoked because I just saw this yesterday. So I'm pretty stoked movie. So I kind of want to say number 1, but I know that as time goes on, I won't feel that way. So I'm going to say La La Land 1, First Man 2, and Whiplash 3.
Okay, interesting. I think I'm going to go Whiplash 1.
Oh,
whoa!
Wow.
I think I'm going to go Whiplash 1. I'm going to go First Man 2, and I'm going to go La La Land 3. I like all those movies, and that order might change, but it's pretty close. But I feel good about it right now.
Question for you guys. If you had seen that movie but did not know that Damien Chazelle directed it, would you have any idea?
No.
And I would have liked it more, I think, if I didn't know it was Chazelle.
It felt almost like a Spielberg movie.
Oh, he produced it.
Spielberg did produce it. And I didn't know that until I saw the credits.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
But for me, I was thinking that this movie would decide whether Chazelle was the director of our generation. Like, first 2 movies right out of the gate were fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy's only like 30 years old, right?
Yeah, I was actually about to Google it.
Yeah.
I was thinking, if this was a great movie, like I love this movie, then I guess I'm saying I had high expectations.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rightfully so. He's 33.
Obviously, I'm a little biased, but I think Paul Thomas Anderson is the director of our generation.
Oh, no, he's too old. I'm saying right now, like, guys almost our age.
Oh, okay. Fair.
I mean,
Is that veggie? Is that veggie burger?
Yeah.
You want to get your cat in the shot? There we go.
She's just working out. That should be the thumbnail, Will.
Probably. Yeah, if I can't get my Photoshop skills to work, which is highly likely. So, moving on, what are your guys' favorite space / astronaut films, if you have any? And nobody, no Star Wars, please, God. I don't think anybody would have said that, but let's just clear it up right away.
There's no astronauts in Star Wars.
It's a space movie.
The Last Jedi.
You know what? Before we get there, I want to see a Russian-centered space race movie. Why haven't we seen one of those?
There probably is, but it's probably in Russian.
Well, and probably totally non-factual.
Yeah. It's probably propaganda.
Right. I would love to see a Russian one because they
probably lost way more men than we did.
Oh my God. So many people died there.
Yeah. There's like images online of like charred bodies from when they first tried to orbit successfully, which they did before us.
Right.
Us being American, if anybody was confused.
So doesn't First Man confirm that Damien Chazelle filmed the moon landing?
Pretty sure it's Stanley Kubrick.
Oh, yeah.
If you've ever seen Room 237, which I know Ryan has.
For the record, let's talk about this for a second.
Okay.
Because I just thought about this the other day. Stanley Kubrick was so opposed to the government propaganda, suppressing free thought. He would never fake a moon landing.
Interesting.
Like, if you know anything about him, it's obvious he wouldn't do something like that.
Yeah, you're right.
So I don't care if you believe that the moon landing was faked. Just don't put it on him, because I promise you he didn't do it.
Well, who else would it have been?
Maybe Chazelle. Joey might be onto something.
Fair. I don't know if the timeline matches up necessarily.
Born yet.
But you got a point.
Maybe Chazelle just took the dailies from the moon landing shoot and just used that for the ending of First Man.
Fair. All right, so back to the question. Your guys' favorite space/astronaut movies. Ryan, go ahead.
Rocket Man.
Rocket Man.
The Elton John movie that's about to come out?
No, give me a break. You guys never seen Rocket Man?
No, I don't know what that is.
Am I thinking of The Rocketeer?
No. All right, you guys go next. I got to look up who's in this.
Isn't it? It's a comedy, right?
Yeah.
It's with like Harlan Williams.
Is that his name?
Is that his name? The drifter from There's Something About Mary.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen that. That's a good movie.
It's just a really goofy movie. Like I forget how somehow gets recruited to work at NASA. Mm-hmm. They send him to space. Really funny.
That's a good pick. The only thing I remember from that movie is him like doing all of like the stress tests where they like spin him around uncontrollably, and also where everybody in NASA sings "Got the Whole World in Our Hands."
Yeah.
That's a great scene. Joey?
Pretty basic, but I'm going to say 2001. I just feel like all astronaut movies afterward were sort of ripping it off, just like the music and set designs and everything.
Okay.
And one reason I really liked First Man was because I felt like it wasn't anything like 2001.
Can you please explain the significance of the ending to 2001 in layman's terms?
It's just acid trip of color, and I'm sure, Suppe, do you know any history involving that? Because I know you're a big Kubrick fan.
You've also said in the past that you don't try to interpret his movies at all.
Well,
right, man?
To an extent, yeah.
Okay.
There's just so many people who try and fail, and just they make it worse for other people. Just watch the movie and think of it the way you want to. Let it wash over you and make you feel however it makes you feel, especially if you're on acid.
Have you ever been on acid watching one of his movies?
No, I haven't, but
still
maybe
time.
I will.
There's still time.
What do you think would be the most upsetting Stanley Kubrick movie to watch on acid.
Eyes Wide Shut.
Oh,
Easy.
yeah.
Easy. Or Lolita. Oh my God, that was fucked up.
A little bit, yeah.
Have you guys seen that?
How old is the girl in Lolita? Like 11, 13 maybe?
12, yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, it's about an older man having a love affair with a 12-year-old girl. So, different time. I don't know if – I'm just going to say it right now. I don't think they'd greenlight Lolita today in the year of our Lord 2018.
Oh, they sure would.
That's just my take.
It just barely got made in the 60s when it did.
When that sort of thing was encouraged in some circles, I'm sure.
Well, but most people were still religious then, so.
This is fair.
And he actually, fun fact, sorry, Will, cut you off, but.
No, go ahead.
He wanted erotic scenes in that movie.
Oh, boy.
Yikes.
Because in the book, there are, like, really erotic scenes. But he basically said, nobody's going to make this if I show this man having sex with a 12-year-old.
He's probably right.
Which I think is fair, which I think is probably true as well. My favorite space movie is I'm going to give you a couple answers. Starship Troopers. I'm going to give you 12 answers now. We got Starship Troopers. Has anybody seen that?
Never heard of it.
Yeah, you have.
I've heard of it, but I've never seen it.
It's Paul Verhoeven, who directed RoboCop.
Yeah.
Also, Casper Van Dien. Ever heard of him? Denise Richards. It's basically, it's the greatest satire maybe ever. It's such a strong satire that most people don't think it's satire. Like, they think it's a serious, like, action space science fiction movie.
Oh, okay. I have heard of this.
Yeah,
never seen it.
I would hope so.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
On this movie podcast with us. It was basically made after a book of the same name called Starship Troopers, and Paul Verhoeven, the director, who was tasked with adapting it, got through like 50 pages of the book and was like, this is some fascist bullshit, and I'm just going to make my own movie and take the name. And it's basically like a satire of like a fascist, imperialist Earth who attacks like space. What's the word? Aliens is the word I'm looking for. Yeah, and nukes. Yeah, they nuke aliens is basically the gist of it. It's basically 90210 in space as well. They just got like the most brain dead actors, like the most beautiful brain dead actors to fill out the cast.
Richards. That's what sold me.
Basically, yeah. But check it out. If you go into it knowing that it's a satire, it'll be one of the funniest movies you've ever seen. So I can highly recommend it. I think it's on YouTube too. I think it's one of those movies that's like in full 1080p on YouTube from start to finish. That's really easy to watch. So if you guys get a chance, check it out.
I don't know if you and I have had this conversation before, but I distinctly remember everything you're talking about. So maybe we have talked about it before. I'm
going to say probably yes.
Yeah. So
also,
I will watch it for sure.
Very good. Alien. Alien's got to be on that list. It's nothing like First Man, but it's a space movie. So it's also kind of a haunted house movie in space.
Good movie.
All right.
Good pick.
So that's our First Man review. Kind of mixed. Ryan,
you want to do stars or
let's do
favorable,
stars.
Unfavorable?
Let's do stars out of 5. Ryan, you go first.
I'll give it a 4.
Really? After all that?
What do you mean?
Yeah, you're the harshest reviewer I know, Suppe.
Now I have to give it like a 4.5 or a 5. It's just going to fuck up my scale forever.
Well,
I'll give it a 5.
All right, well, I guess I have to give it a 6 out of 5. Okay. Well, that settles that. All right, so we're going to move on to a new segment. Should be...
They're all new segments. Well, it's a new podcast.
Okay.
Dildo.
No, you're absolutely right. All right, guys. So I have a question for you. With we've got a lot of musical biopics on the horizon. So we've got Bohemian Rhapsody, the movie about Freddie Mercury, starring Rami Malek, and we've also got Rocket Man, the movie about Elton John, starring Taron Egerton. They're both coming out pretty soon. So my question for you guys, what's one musical biopic that you would absolutely not want to see? So I'm going to start with Ryan. What's a musical biopic?
Start with me every time. Start with Joey.
All right, Joey. What's a musical biopic you absolutely would hate to see? You can't have it.
So I know you guys will probably give sort of like joke answers, but I have a sort of real one. I don't really want to see a Kurt Cobain biopic because I feel like it'd be terrible.
That's fair.
No matter who made it or what. I just feel like nobody could play Kurt Cobain and Courtney Love without doing caricatures. So, yeah, that's my answer.
Who do you think they would get to play Kurt Cobain?
Macaulay Culkin.
That shit would be bad. I don't know. Probably like Shia LaBeouf or some shit.
What?
The only one who'd say yes.
James Franco would also say yes.
Oh, he for sure would. They'd probably get it'd probably be directed by James Franco, and he'd play like a supporting role, and Dave Franco would play Kurt Cobain.
Allison Brie would be good.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, we need to not like talk about this movie anymore because I feel like it's already on the brink of happening.
So is this going to be like a new thing now? Is that they're just going to do a bunch of classic rock biopics?
Probably. And here's the thing, like Elton John is not dead. Freddie Mercury has been for a long time. Elton John like still makes music and is still touring. So it feels like I'm not saying like we have to wait until he's 6 feet under, but it feels a little soon, doesn't it?
And also, I might be wrong about this, but isn't the guy who came and directed the end of Bohemian Rhapsody directing Rocket Man? Is that right?
No idea.
No idea.
All I know is about Bohemian Rhapsody is obviously Rami Malek is playing Freddie Mercury now, but this was rumored to be Sacha Baron Cohen's movie for what feels like 10 years.
That would have been
Really?
so good, I feel like.
Yeah, I feel like this was in the rumor mill for years and years and years.
It wasn't even a rumor. He's talked about it, that he was just
Oh, yeah.
do it.
No, it was very close to happening. I don't know why it didn't, but he...
Oh, you never saw that Howard Stern interview?
Mm-mm.
No, I don't think so.
So, Sacha Baron Cohen wanted to do like...
Does he like make him ride the Sybian in between movies?
No.
Okay.
No.
Then in that
Stern's
case, I haven't seen it. Those are the only ones I have.
So
Uh-oh.
God damn it, Joey.
movie. What?
Okay, we can hear you.
Don't.
Okay, sorry. You good?
Yeah. Okay, we're good.
Yeah.
Okay, so Sacha Baron Cohen was supposed to be Freddie Mercury, but he wanted to do a super gritty, R-rated movie that really portrayed his actual life. But he clashed with the band, Brian May mostly, who wanted to. They want to make the movie about the band, like anyone gives a fuck about Brian May. And it's like a PG. It's just like a promo movie for everybody to go buy Queen's greatest hits. So yeah.
Yeah, essentially.
Apparently, this might be a spoiler, but I've heard that
he
Freddie
dies.
Mercury dies like halfway through the movie, and then the rest of the movie is just about Queen.
That sounds
That's
fucking
good.
terrible.
But
I don't think you can say that, Ryan.
Rami Malek is like 5'4", and Freddie Mercury was an absolute unit.
In awe at the size of the lad.
So
Was he really? He doesn't seem like he'd be a tall guy.
I don't know. Well, maybe it's just his personality, though. So I don't know.
Larger
But
than life.
I just from the promos, it's like I just don't buy Rami Malek as him. I don't know. I mean, I guess I shouldn't say that because I haven't seen it, but yeah.
Question about Freddie Mercury, really quick. Everybody says like Magic Johnson when he got AIDS, like the cure to AIDS is just having a lot of money, which Magic Johnson had. But like to those people who say that, didn't Freddie Mercury have just as much, if not more, money than Magic Johnson? Like 2 years before he was diagnosed.
Yeah, I don't know.
What's your question? Who had more money?
No, if people said that Magic Johnson survived having HIV because he was just rich as hell, couldn't you say the same thing about Freddie Mercury?
Yeah, I guess you could. Yeah.
Interesting. We'll get to the bottom of that later, I guess.
When did Eazy-E die?
Probably right around the same time. I feel like he probably had the least money of the three.
Yeah, probably.
Okay. Ryan, what's the musical biopic that you do not want to see happen?
I have two.
Okay.
And they're just because they're both douchebags, and I have no interest in their lives. Father John Misty, one modern day example.
Good.
And an older one, Van Morrison, who I think is a total douchebag, and I don't have any interest in seeing his biopic.
Question, Suppe.
Yeah.
Would you like to see a Morrissey biopic?
He was. There is one. It actually just came out. It's like a very low budget. There's a lot of conflict with it because
I bet.
Yeah, like he didn't want it made,
really?
But they sort of did like a right around him. So I think maybe like they wrote about the band. He's definitely in the movie. Like, I mean, his character's in the movie. But
I feel like the only way Morrissey would allow a Morrissey biopic to happen is if he wrote, directed, and starred.
Yeah, that will be coming soon, I'm sure. That's in the works as we speak.
Yeah.
Himself today is playing himself in the 80s.
With a lot of makeup. No makeup. No makeup.
Yeah, he just goes through life. Always in song. It's like a musical, except he's the only one singing.
Yeah, and it's on a stage.
It's like, it's his wife. I don't know if he's ever been married, but like, and he ever gets broken up with.
Very gay / asexual. So.
Yeah, I knew he was like, he was just like, I know he's like something in between. He was like, Morrissey, Steven, I'm breaking up with you. And he just goes, oh no.
That was a really good impression, Will.
Thank you. More where that came from. Morrissey, where that came from.
But to answer your question, no, I don't have any interest in that either.
Okay.
What do you guys think is the best biopic involving a famous musician?
I think Ray's probably up there.
Oh, yeah. Walk the Line.
Walk the Line is pretty good, about Johnny Cash. I'm trying to think. The best ones I feel like are musicians who are not as well known. Like there's a lot of good movies about like blues musicians. There's like a couple that came out recently with Don Cheadle, and then another one with Ethan Hawke about Chet Baker, who I think was a trumpet player. But yeah, I think those tend to be the best ones because they're more passion projects from the actors who are just actually big fans of the musicians and put a lot of time and care and respect into those projects. And they usually turn out better as a result. But I've got a couple answers for you guys. First one is the example I used in our rundown. Walmart Nights, the Mason Ramsey story, starring Macaulay Culkin as well. I really just want a movie starring Macaulay Culkin.
Macaulay Culkin as a kid or adult Macaulay Culkin?
No, adult Macaulay.
All right.
Yeah, I just want to see him wearing cowboy boots and a cowboy hat, yodeling him some Hank Williams at Walmart. So yeah, I think that would be. Actually, I guess I don't want to see that. I think that's the point of the question.
You just change your own mind.
I've talked myself into it. But the one that I really don't want to see is a movie that I've titled Durst Man, The Life and Times of Fred Durst, who is the lead singer of Limp Bizkit.
Starring Robert Durst.
Yeah, starring Robert Durst, the murderer from the Jinx.
Allegedly.
I was thinking John Travolta would play Fred Durst because they're friends. And Fred Durst has directed John Travolta in a movie, so I think it's possible at least. It would obviously cover like his early days in Jacksonville, Florida, up to his feud with Eminem, the MTV Music Awards, and also his directing career, which is shockingly not terrible. Shockingly.
All right. Are there any biopics that you want to see?
That's a good
Of
question.
you musicians?
Now I've talked myself into Mason
Kanye.
Ramsey.
You want to see a Kanye West biopic? Written, directed, and starring Kanye West?
I do. No, I want him nowhere.
Who would make it?
I actually recall like a year ago that the dude who made It Comes at Night is making a movie about, but I don't know how that would work because he's only like 40. So I don't care. I'm fascinated with that man.
Do you think it's going to include the Trump meeting from last week?
I hope so.
That's the
Someone
climax.
should just start following. Someone should just follow him around with a camera starting now.
What if somebody has? What if there's like a Hoop Dream style documentary coming out on Kanye?
Oh, I would blow my load all over the screen.
That'd be sick.
Yeah. Maybe I could text him. I could say, hey, can I follow you around with a camera?
Yeah.
You have his number?
Yeah. Snapchat.
That's fair. I think I'd want to see a few years and years from now, Mac DeMarco biopic.
Yeah, I'd watch that. Who would you get to play him?
Assuming Macaulay Culkin's booked up from the numerous other biopics that I have him starring in. That's tough. Matt Damon, Brad Pitt.
Jesse Plemons?
There it is. Yep. Jesse Plemons. Obviously, he's going to have to dye his hair, or possibly wear a wig, but I'm fine with that. Yeah, no, I think that would be pretty interesting. He's an interesting
movies
dude.
have to have some sort of adversity. Like I feel like Mac DeMarco's life is just one long.
You don't know that, Joey. You won't know that until his biopic comes
No,
out.
he's got the relationship stuff with his dad.
That's true. You're right.
Yeah, so think again, pal.
Nobody can make songs like he can if he hasn't gone through some struggle.
That's true. You're right. I feel like the best biopics aren't somebody's life just from like their birth until they die. It's like some sort of window.
Yeah,
like
it's a snapshot.
Yeah, I thought Steve Jobs was a good example of that.
That's the first one I thought of when he said that.
Yeah. Have you guys seen My Week with Marilyn? I thought that was good too.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. It's like it's just like even like a day or like a few days spent with a character can kind of tell you as much as one of those biopics that like just like starts with like their birth and then ends like literally with them dying. Which it's like kind of like the stereotypical biopic that Dewey Cox tried to make fun of.
That movie's underrated.
Yes.
That movie's hilarious.
That's one of the best comedies from the 2000s, from 2000 to 2010, in this man's humble opinion. All right, so that's that for this segment. Let's close it out with a quick check-in for what we watched this week. So if you guys have been watching any TV shows or you saw any new movies recently. Maybe new movies, old movies, something on Netflix. It didn't necessarily have to come out recently. Let us know. So, Joey, have you seen anything this week?
I just the second season of Big Mouth.
You cut out a little bit there.
You said Big Mouth?
Oh, shit. Yeah.
God damn it.
All right, Suppe. Go. Come back to me.
Joey, start over.
Okay, could you hear me?
Yeah.
Sure can.
So I just finished the second season of Big Mouth on Netflix.
How was it?
I thought it was very funny. I love that show. I think it's very well written. I love Nick Kroll and John Mulaney, and I think probably one of the best Netflix originals to come out in the past couple of years. Have you guys watched the show?
I've seen like an episode.
Yeah, I watched a couple episodes the first season.
A little disturbing, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, for sure.
Seems like it would be right up your alley, though.
I think it's a good show.
Right?
What about you guys?
I've been watching Veep, which is so funny. Just hilarious. I don't know how else to describe it. Currently, in the middle, before we did this podcast, I'm watching A New World, or The New World, the Terrence Malick one.
Oh, yeah.
Have you guys seen that?
No, I haven't. That's like one of the few Terrence Malick movies I haven't seen. Who's in? Is that Colin Farrell?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts so far?
Oh, it's all right.
You a Terrence Malick guy or not?
Most of the time, yeah. As you guys know, Thin Red Line is my favorite war movie, of course.
Yeah, you had to take that Thin Red Line is a better movie than Saving Private Ryan.
Let's get it out there. First episode.
Let's air out our dirty laundry right now.
Hit me up on Twitter at SalSuppe if you disagree. Let's get some online interaction going. I'd love to fight with you on Twitter.
Hey, Will, what do you think of Tame Impala?
My opinion's actually grown. I like a few of their songs now. My beef with them is that a lot of their songs sound very, very similar. Which now that I think about it, being a Mac DeMarco fan, I probably don't have much room to complain about that.
Yeah, good point.
Fair.
So I've backed down a little bit.
I watched one in the theaters, not this week, a couple weeks ago. I forget the name of it. It's a guy who did This Is Us.
Okay.
You know what movie I'm talking about?
NBC show? I don't know what movie you're talking about.
Oh, shit. What's it called?
What is the movie about?
Life Itself, it's called.
Oh, okay. Not the Roger Ebert movie.
It's a piece of garbage. Don't watch it.
Joey cut out on us.
All right. See you, Joe.
All right. Left early. That's okay. I watched...
his laptop died.
Yeah, well, he should have thought about that.
Oh, he's back.
He's back. You okay there?
Yeah, sorry about that. My computer died momentarily.
Nailed it, Suppe. I saw Halloween last night, which I would talk about, but I have a feeling like one of you guys will probably see it.
I don't give a fuck.
Okay, well, not that I was going to spoil it, but like that we could review it in the future.
Oh.
So
we could do a John Carpenter episode.
We sure could. Plenty to talk about. We'll save that for the future. I'll just say generally favorable. But although it was also one of those movies where you get into the movie theater and you realize that it's just going to be one of those type of audiences that really, really fucking sucks. And there was a guy literally with his phone on speaker mode.
No way.
A row. Yes.
Are you serious?
Yeah. No. This guy, like 15 minutes into the movie, stands up and starts like yelling at this other guy who he was sitting next to. He's like, "This guy's trying to talk shit." Like, called him the N-word. I think he was like Hispanic, so I don't know if you're allowed to do that or not. But anyway, yeah, he eventually moved. Like, he moved from like a few rows above me to like couple rows below me, and eventually started talking on the phone with speaker mode on for a good 5 minutes.
During the movie?
Yes.
While the movie was happening?
Absolutely, during the middle of the movie. So other than that, pretty good movie.
Was it crowded, I assume?
Yeah. It's a loud movie, too. Like, you'd be surprised how it can drown out a person talking on their phone pretty well, but I was also like 10 feet away from him, so I heard it. But yeah, not great. Other than that, a worthy sequel to the original Halloween. There's been like 5 in between the 1978 Halloween. 6? Yeah, I think you might be right. There's also like a couple reboots, which I don't know if I counted, but it's like a Rob Zombie one. But yeah, this is the best sequel by far. So definitely worth seeing. It's a really good, just like Friday, Saturday night popcorn movie. I'll say that. Does justice to the original for sure. I've also been watching Deadwood on HBO.
How's that?
Very good. I've seen 4 episodes so far. I started on Friday. Terrific cast. Ian McShane, Timothy Oliphant, Paula Malcolmson from Ray Donovan. Really good. I expect it to get better. It's one of those shows that it was canceled early, so I'm not expecting like any type of good resolution. But HBO does it again. So,
aren't they making a movie?
Yeah, they're supposed to. They've been talking about it for a long time, but I don't know if it's ever going to get done. But yeah, I basically been watching it. I've been watching that and like a few other Westerns in preparation for Red Dead Redemption, which comes out on Friday. I don't know if either of you guys are going to get that, Ryan.
I pawned my Xbox, as I usually do. As you guys know, I go through the cycle where I start playing too much video games. And then I always think the solution is just to sell my Xbox, and then I'll stop playing video games. But nope. I'll keep you guys posted. But I would guess that I will buy a new Xbox within 3 months or so.
How much money do you lose from pawning it and buying a new one?
Well, I make about $100 when I sell it. That's including the games.
Not great.
And then to get back to where I was, I probably spend $500.
Oh my God, Suppe!
You gotta stop doing this.
I know. It's a disease.
You guys remember when we were kids and GameStop had that deal where they advertised like, "Oh, you can get $20 for each of your games that you bring in."
Sure
so
can.
You bring in like a box, and you're like, yeah. You know what? I'm gonna get my own place. I'm gonna move out. And they're like, "Yeah, we can give you $10 for these 17 games."
10 cents each.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I know that all too well.
But let me know how that game is. I was excited for it until.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna play it. Yeah, until you sold your Xbox. Don't you have a PS4 though too?
Nope.
You pawned that too?
I never had a PS4. No.
I thought you played MLB The Show at some point. But...
Oh, I used to have a PS3. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Not a 4.
Okay. Yeah, no, that explains it. All right, so I think that covers it. We had kind of a long show, but it's our semi-pilot. It's definitely the first show of the new podcast. Only Pod Forgives. So let us know what you think. Find us on Twitter. Ryan is at SalSuppe.
SUPPE. SALSUPPE.
Joey is at Joey Thyne. JOEYTHYNE.
That's actually not correct. It's at Joey_Thyne.
I fucked that up.
Because I got at Joey Thyne when I was in like 7th grade, and then I forgot.
Oh, that's right. And it's just like it's all full house.
Tweet about. No, I'd tweet about My Name is Earl because I want them to bring it back on TV. It's a good show.
Hashtag bring back My Name is Earl. Yeah, also, if you're stupid enough to have listened to this entire episode, leave us a comment in the comment section and say hashtag bring back My Name is Earl so we know that you made it this far. I'm at Wilkie6. So anything else from you guys? Are we ready to wrap it up?
No, thanks for listening.
No, this is fun.
Yeah.
Sorry for the technical difficulties.
We'll get that cleaned up. Don't worry about it. So, yeah, that's all from us. Hopefully we'll be back next week. So, see you guys.
Smell you.